only did my family suffer, but my community suffered. They lost their post office and local shop, which a lot of elderly people depended on.
Didn't come out of the house for about 3 years. When I did go out, I would have crossed the street if I'd seen anybody that I knew from the area, and I would put my head down and would just walk on.
I'm still a diabetic. Via the operation I had, and but there were other medical issues occurring, which is part of the job stress that I was under.
I lost my business, I lost my income, I lost myself, I lost my relationship, I lost so much of me.
I've got a suspended repossession order on my house, so if I miss a payment or a couple of payments, they can apply to the court to take the house.
I had stress-related chest pains. So I did as well at the time, just really stressed about it all.
You're constantly tired. You constantly think you're being worn down.
I had a really good relationship with my mum. And yeah, for her to think that I'd got robbed from the post office, you know, that's, yeah. And she took that to the grave.
Yeah, I felt helpless and hopeless, you know, and worthless, I suppose.
Because what happens is when you're down all the time, you end up taking your problems home, and it's always on your mind, you're always down money, you're always waiting for the axe to drop, and the pressure was just too much.
Wake up in the morning, I'm actually disappointed that I've woken up.
Once the newspaper put postmistress guilty, you can imagine.
We couldn't live, we had no money, we were destitute.
Well, I felt a bit destroyed, actually. You know what I mean? Last time I was in the papers for good reasons.
They put the premiums up on things that you need. Even getting a bank account you can't get. You have to be given a basic bank account with higher charges, and, you know, you're not allowed a current account because you've got a criminal record. There's all sorts of things.
I didn't go out much. When I did try and go for a walk, people would cross the other side of the road.
They were short-staffed, so you were in your cell more often, like 23 hours a day.
So it caused quite a few illnesses, which were all stress-related.
It really upsets me on how some of my fellow postmasters have been treated. It's very upsetting.
I tried to stop. My body would start shivering. I would not be able to sleep.
It's something, all this I've tried to block out. Don't want to remember it.
I've lost everything. I was up to my neck in debt with credit cards, who were beginning to push me now.
I don't go out, I don't go in shops here. It's been horrendous.
He just used to keep saying to me, I'm the one with the criminal conviction, I can't get another job, do you know how that makes me feel? And he just went within himself.
I find it very difficult to be in a room with people now.
I had no job, I couldn't afford to pay the mortgage, so I had to sell the house and sofa safe.
We are not alone. This has happened, and we could not believe how many people were affected. Could not believe how many people.
Don't want to do anything, I'm not interested in anything. I can't get motivated with anything. It's always there in your mind. It doesn't go away.
Really got nothing to show for it.
I still think about it every day. I mean, there's no a day goes past that you don't go past a postie. You don't go past a Royal Mail van. You don't pass a red pillar box. And it's almost just right there.
That computer turned over, my stomach would be knots. My knees would start shaking. That still happens. It still happens.
And now, since I'm not as confident as I was.
It's little things. I don't like talking to people on the telephone. I'd rather be face to face. And
it was a way to block it out. My daughter also, she got very bad anxiety, wouldn't go over the shop.
I still don't feel I'm the same person, and I do get angry at times.
I feel like I've let them down. I've not been able to do what I should have as a parent, and it's just been very difficult.
I didn't want to talk to anyone. I didn't want to see anyone.
Still, I am struggling financially, though after selling the post office in 2020, September 2020, since that, I am very depressed. I have a lot of high blood pressure. I am working here and there just to adjust myself, yes.
Prison for an Asian person is very much a stigma altogether. I have lost many friends.
I been worried terribly. He used to take the front door keys and sleep with them under his pillow because he didn't know if I would still be there in the morning.
No, couldn't get any job. Filling in forms saying that you've got a criminal record.
At the moment, I still don't feel free of it, and I don't know whether I ever will.
But all I knew was I was frightened. I'd done nothing wrong, and I was frightened.
House. I lost everything. I couldn't get a job.
I still sort of feel a bit ashamed, and I feel really inadequate that it happened to me. I'm a mess when it gets to cashing up at the charity shop. If it's out, there was one time it was £20 out, and I couldn't stop crying.
That's where my health came in. I started suffering from depression after that auditor came along.
We didn't know whether at one stage were we going to have a loaf of bread for the end of the week next week.
I lost my dignity, personality, and my soul in the end. My mental health is in a bad way. I felt I didn't matter when I asked for help.
Every time it came to doing a balance, you were worried, what were the shortfalls going to be? And it's the lack of support, it's the feeling of total isolation.
You've heard them saying, or they've stopped talking to you, or they've cut you off, or one lady was shouting at my husband across the counter. It's like not realising we're going through the most difficult time of our lives.
Well, I'm very, very anxious now, and I get stressed quite easily, and I got PTSD, and I quite often blame myself.
I suppose as an example, I still can't drive through the village of Auchtermuckety. I drive around country roads to avoid it, if I have to go that way at all.
Her friends were cutting her off. The family were, basically distancing themselves from it because they were still associated with the village. They didn't want to be associated with us.
I was absolutely shattered. I'd give in then. I didn't want to exist, to be honest.
They made me feel, like I said before, like I was some horrible master criminal, and I'd done nothing wrong.
Well, I used to get comments from people using the taxi about, that I'd lost the post office and I'd stolen money from the post office.
Yeah, I suppose I became more, I'm quite extrovert. I was. I became quite introverted, really. I didn't want to see people on a day-to-day basis.
Reputation completely destroyed.
Yeah, I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia the year after my husband had his heart attack. And apparently it can be caused by a shock, and he was only 48 when that happened to him.
Because by printing it in the newspaper is nothing. People are still not going to believe you. They'll just say that he was trying to prove his innocence when he has been a crook all the time.
I did have one man spit at me in the street, and I did get spat on when I was doing the community service as well.
Pregnant thief. So my picture was in the front of the local newspaper, pregnant thief. The window gone been beaten up. While I was in the prison, They're in there. My husband been beaten up quite a few times.
Situation I'd never been in. I never owed money to anyone. I didn't deserve this. I was trapped with no one to help me, nowhere to turn.
It's been a long time since it happened, and I can't see how I can ever get back to that excited young man that I was.
It was horrendous. The only way I could explain it is that I felt bullied. I was a young girl, I was in a police station.
You do tend to wake up in the middle of the night and say, God, what am I going to do? What's happened? What can we do?
It affected my eldest child quite a lot because there was rumours going around. She used to come home and say, Daddy, are you going to jail?
It was horrible, I'll be honest, and the worst thing about it was I was sent to jail. My family had to face the public.
You know, we're all exhausted. We've had almost 20 years of fighting, and people aren't with us that should be.